The next system we are going to cover is the circulatory system. Some of the key features of the insect circulatory system is that it is an open system, so it's very different from humans. We have a closed system in which blood is contained within arteries and veins. Insects basically have one major artery or vessel, and the rest of the time the blood is circulating in the open cavity of the insect's body. Some basic functions of the circulatory system include transportation of nutrients, waste products, and hormones. It also provides protection and a defense capability. So as I mentioned, most of the time, blood is floating in the open body cavity of the insect, and this open body cavity is known as the hemocell. There's also the one dorsal blood vessel that helps with blood circulation. And again, remember that the dorsal is the top side of the insect. And this blood vessel contains the hearts, and that's near the back of the insect or the posterior, and the aorta, which is near the front or the anterior part of the insect. It also contains the ostia, and these are small holes within the vessel where the blood enters into the vessel. This figure shows a good example of how all these components are situated in the insect's body. Again, you have the dorsal blood vessel, which contains the insect's hearts. You have the aorta, and you have the tiny little openings in the heart that allow the blood to enter the dorsal blood vessel. Basically, the blood is pumped from the end of the insect's body to the front of the insect's head. Then it's removed from that dorsal vessel and circulated in the open hemocell region. Now, insect blood is referred to as hemolymph. Now, the fluid portion is responsible for transporting nutrients, hormones, etc., and the cellular portion, also known as hemocytes, are important for defense. Now, the functions of hemocytes are not well known, but many are capable of ingesting bacteria, and they play a role in removing dead cells and tissues during metamorphosis. Hemolymph of certain insects also contain hemocytes that migrate to wounds and form a plug. They often congregate around foreign bodies, such as parasites, to help crowd these invading organisms out. With that, you should have a good understanding of the digestion, excretory, and circulatory systems of insects. Now what I'd like you to do is try to synthesize this information and look at how these systems interact with each other. So, what I'd like you to do is describe what happens to an aphid that is eaten by a praying mantis. And in this summary, you should discuss the role of the digestive, excretory, and circulatory system and what their functions are, along with discussing the individual components of these systems. This should be a detailed summary about how the aphid is broken down into a usable form. Again, I would encourage you to go to Canvas to read more about this assignment.